Good morning, Periscope family. It's a beautiful, beautiful sunshiny day here in Colorado, and as you can see, I'm up. Hey Al, good morning, buddy. You know how beautiful it is here in Monument. I am up. Good morning, Brenda. Good morning, Tam Tam. I am up. I am shaved. I'm showered. I've been to the gym. I've had my study time, my quiet time, and it's really, really, really a good thing. It just feels amazing when your day gets off to the right start. Hey Rhonda, good morning. Welcome to our call. So just take a minute here for everybody to connect. It's an interesting process doing this Periscope every day. Good morning, Cheryl. Good morning, Cheryl. Hey, it's great to have you with us. Top of the day. Yes, you know what? It really is. The morning is the top of the day because when we get off to the right start, everything in the day just flows better. You know, I can take this first hour of every day and set the stage for what's coming the rest of the day so that no matter how much the rest of the day goes up and down and how much stuff happens, I know that I've put my foundation in place. Good morning, Deborah. Good morning, Lynn. Good morning, Sharon. Thank you for joining us today. I really appreciate you guys. And it's an interesting process bringing value to these calls every day. So anyway, before I jump into what I want to cover with y'all today, went to the gym, came home, and was just feeling, a little overdone. And Cheryl and I are going to actually do a video on this sometime in the next week or two and get it posted. But what we're discovering is that when I'm off, my eyes are off, my focus is off, and Cheryl can actually look into my eyes and see when the eyes are off. So when I do, it's like, and they get off on a pretty regular basis. So going to the gym today, the strain on that, I came home and my body was feeling off, and Cheryl said my eyes were just a smidge off. So she has a sparker technique that she uses, and a lot of the things she does are kind of interesting because they're all energetic in nature. And but she does her little sparking technique on my eyes and my head, and it takes her about a minute. And what's amazing is I can look into my eyes in the mirror and see that they've reconnected, they've refocused, and more importantly, my whole energy system is just calmed down and settled into the day. So when you're feeling off, it turns out there's ways you can get back on track. But what I want to talk about today, I want to keep this really simple because, the essence of what is in my heart is that there's a message, there's a voice in each one of you, and that we need to do the most important thing we can do is let our voice be our voice, and our voice can make a difference in the world. So much talk in this political cycle about letting somebody else make America great again. And I think where America has fallen apart and where the world has fallen apart is a lot of us have abdicated what's in us, because if we were all to do our part, just our little bit, all of those little bits would round up and change the world, make a difference in our family, would make a difference in our community, would make a difference where we work. So how do we get started? If your voice is what matters, how do we get started? So I want to give you, for me, there was one thing I needed to do, and I want to walk you guys through the one thing you can do to get started. And there's actually going to be 5 little things that make up the one thing. So first thing that works the best for me was I had to make a decision. So this comes out of a quality decision that I wanted to create some significant. Good morning, T. Witt. I don't remember your first name, but anyway, welcome to the call. Good morning. I might just type your name in because I'm trying to learn who's in our community. And if you guys have thoughts, Maya, that's right, Maya. Thanks for Maya. I should say probably Maya. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you all for the hearts. They really do make my heart feel good. So first thing is there's got to be something inside you that says you want to create something different than what you've been creating. So without a desire for something to change, there's really no point in doing this. Once that desire is in place, that begins to drive the process so that we're not focused on, I should get up and pray in the morning. I should get up and go exercise. I should get up and go for a walk. Cheryl's doing a whole seminar coming up next week on one of the reasons how shoulds are actually so very, very, very destructive to your life. And you can catch that on her Facebook page on ForestTownsley. She's got a bunch coming up on that. It's going to be an amazing webinar next Tuesday at 6 o'clock Mountain Time. It's free. So there's the heart condition that says, I want to create something different. Second thing that makes the day work for me is once I've made that decision that I'm going to start my day, the one thing that makes the biggest difference is deciding when I need to get up. So my alarm is set for 5:15. It is a lot easier to do it now that the sun's starting to peek through at 5 in the morning. So at some point in my life, I want to live where the sun shines all the time, or at least where it comes up early in the morning. So setting the alarm clock to get up on time, that's one thing. The easiest way to get up on time is to make sure you go to bed on time. Okay, so I come into my office and I have a little bit of quiet time, prayer time, study time. And I want to recommend one book to you guys, one book the one thing that will probably change everything for you. It's going to cost you about $10, $12 on Amazon. And it's the book of Proverbs. Most of you probably have it sitting around your house in a Bible, and there's like bazillions of translations of it. I love and prefer the Passion Translation because the Passion actually it's such a good name. The Passion Translation actually connected to my passion, and the two of those together were amazing. The cool thing about Proverbs is it's not theology. Proverbs is not based on knowledge. It's not based on theology. Proverbs is based on wisdom. Proverbs is based on wisdom. And I think we all know that we know in our hearts that wisdom is the main thing. And so all Proverbs does is it's very short, and there's 31 books in Proverbs, 31 chapters. And it takes like 3-4 minutes. So when we're looking at the one thing, if we just say the one thing I'm going to do today is get up and I'm going to take 3-4 minutes and read Proverbs, that's a game changer. One of my mentors at one point said that his mentor, who was Gary Smalley, a lot of you know Gary Smalley, challenged him and he said, Stephen, if you will read Proverbs every day for the next 2 years, it will change your life. Well, I thought that was a good idea, and I did it for a week. My wife thought it was a good idea, and she's been doing it for about 8 years now. I think, Cheryl, isn't that right? About 8 years Cheryl's been doing that. So 8 years later, I'm going, watching Cheryl's wisdom grow, and I'm watching mine plateau. And so that was where I started with Proverbs. It's just an easy place to start. So you read Proverbs. That's going to take you 3 to 4 minutes, take a little bit of time, and the focus on that is growing in wisdom, and that's something that we get to do every day. So up on time, because you've got a heart condition you want to change, you've got something you want to create different, pull out your book of Proverbs, so you're 5 minutes into the morning. And then the most important thing for me is journaling. And you've heard me talk about journaling, so I went and got a journal that has a nice spiral bind on it. I didn't get one of those cheap 99-cent ones. I got one that I actually like. Now, Cheryl gets colored ones and all that stuff. But I love this one because the spine works so well, and it's easy to write in. And then what I want you to do is go get 3 pens. You need a black pen, and a blue pen, and a red pen. We've talked about that before. I used to teach school. I taught 5th grade, 4th and 5th grade. And there is something about taking pen in hand and writing that changes everything. My 4th graders came in every year, and they had learned how to print, and they had learned the basics of handwriting. But we'd write their very first paper, and I'd pin them up on the walls. We'd pin up their paper so that we could see their handwriting. And this is one of my concerns of what's happening in schools today. We're removing handwriting because everybody is playing on their phones, and we don't need to do handwriting. There's actually some schools now that are not teaching handwriting. And I've seen the research, and I know it's true because I have experienced it. There is something different about writing with a pen. You see this motion that you go through with your hand, it connects with the brain, and it impacts the brain, and there's a connection that happens between you and paper and pen that I believe is hardwired into us. And when I sit down to type, it's a very different experience. Or if I, hunt and peck on my iPad, put notes in, those are notes. But journaling, connecting with my heart, and bringing my voice forward, I believe has to happen with the pen. So here's how we're going to make journaling very easy, so it fits into your morning. The one thing is we're going to get up on time. We're going to have a little meditation, quiet time. Breathing, we forgot to talk about that. I always practice my breathing. Cheryl does a bunch of really good stuff on that. Thanks, Maya. Pull out the journal, and so I have my chair I sit in to read in, but then I found that if I come over to my desk, get out my notebook, and I go into writing mode, there's a difference between writing at my desk and writing in the chair. So here's how you write. Everybody says it's too hard. It's not hard. The journal is really easy. So the first thing I do is I take my blue pen. The blue pen is Forest. And the easiest way to write is to sit down and write all your crap out. I used to write all my stupid questions to the Lord, all the stuff I'm looping on, all of my problems. I just start writing, why God, why, it's not fair, God. You can write anything you want. The key is you take 5 minutes and you write something with your blue pen because that's you. And the way I started hearing from God was then I took the red pen in my hand and I said, okay, God, what do you want to say about that? And I just started writing. And because something will come out of you. And what I noticed is the red pen usually makes something positive. Now, is the red pen for sure God? I don't know. But I do know that what I write in red actually is different than what I write in blue. There's a different essence to it. So I just write, and sometimes he says, Forrest, I love you. And he gives me an encouraging word. Other times he'll respond to the other stuff. And so I just started doing that. Sometimes a paragraph here or a sentence there. And if you're really stuck for something to write in red, you just copy the thing you pulled out of Proverbs that morning. You just write down what you wrote in red because that's God talking to his Proverbs. So you write that down. So you might just do a little bit, and or you might do a lot. Like yesterday I wrote 7 pages. There's other days when I do a page. But it just feels good to write. And then what you get to do to wrap it all up is you go back and you read what you wrote. It's amazing to read what you wrote because you're going to begin to experience what your voice sounds like, and you're going to begin to hear what's coming out of your heart, God coming out of your heart in the red. So it's simple. We're into about 30 minutes about this. Okay, the black pen. Yes, the black pen is my new device, and I love my black pen because the next part of this that you can add when you're ready is that I believe there's a message in you that needs to go to the world. So this is me talking to me. This is God talking to me. And this is me starting to write the thoughts that I have that I want to share with somebody else. So if I have a thought this morning that I know that's going to want to be shared, then the black pen, and I really like this Dr. Grip full black pen. They're like $5. I love having a nice pen. You know, if you're a calligrapher, you go get all your pens. I remember when I was in 5th grade, there was something called a fountain pen. And we had the little fountain pen cartridges. And so in 5th grade, we had to learn how to write with a fountain pen. And I still have about a 40, 50-page report that I wrote in 5th grade with my fountain pen because John Russo was my teacher, and he knew that writing mattered. And I look back at that notebook, and the writing is kind of awkward, but that fountain pen made me feel special in 5th grade. And so go get yourself a special pen. Spend $5 and get a special pen. And begin to write the message that's in you that's going to go to the world. So it's not, it's not my book yet. It's not my blog yet. It's not my website yet. But it's the thoughts so that when I go back and go through my journal, I'm going to find the black stuff. Black stuff is usually what I share with you guys. And so this is how we begin to start our day. First thing in the morning, set the clock and get up and realize that the one thing you're going to do today is you're going to start your day by putting a little wisdom in, but opening up your heart, connecting with yourself. That's the breathing exercises that we've talked about a bunch. You're breathing. You're up. You're on time. You can do a little bit of reading in Proverbs. Again, I really encourage you to get the Proverbs translation. Then come over to your desk. It's easy to write at your desk. Get out your journal. Do your fussing, your complaining, your bitching, your moaning. Get it all out. Find out what God has to say about it. And then take time to begin to develop the message that's in you that you want to bring to the world sometime, somewhere, somehow. So, hey, that's Tuesday morning today. That was easy for me. I decided I didn't want to do something profound. But, set the time, get started, and then see if you can keep that commitment for 5 days a week. Take the weekend off. But begin to keep that little commitment and see what happens. So today's Wednesday. Yes, thank you, Cheryl. So today's Wednesday. If you guys got any thoughts, remember, when you're on Periscope, you can add your comments. You can add your thoughts. You can actually click that little guy down here in the bottom. There's a little guy down the bottom of your screen. You can actually click him, share this. We can begin to invite people to our community and begin to make this a fun time for you. So thanks, Cheryl. Thank you, Rhonda. You guys have a blessed and amazing day. You matter. Your voice matters. America will not become great again until you decide to do your part to make America great again. So that's how we're going to solve this political cycle. That's how we're going to get out of the clown show that's going on, is you and I are going to begin to speak with integrity from our heart, with love and care and compassion for other people. So y'all have a blessed day. Happy Wednesday. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Goodbye. And enjoy the sunshine, hopefully, where you are today.